Hey guys, it's Hima Reddy here. I have an update for you on oil, and I figured I would walk you through my daily continuous contract chart to show you what I'm seeing unfolding. Now, those of you familiar with my RSI power zones or RSI Hima indicator recognize what you see on the bottom. It is a 14-period RSI, and it's got these zones of support and resistance that are overlaid on top of it. Now, the two lower green lines from 40 to 50 define a bull support power zone. And what's been interesting in oil over the past couple months is that this area has been holding its support. It's not done that for quite some time. So that was the first thing that caught my eye. But now when we zoom in to the latest price action, you can see that actually we're at quite a set of resistance. So there is a trend line joining the August 3rd and November 14th lows from last year that is providing overhead resistance as it did earlier in August of this year. Right now, the September 14th range met that trend line, and all of the day's trading has been confined within that range. We're also at a declining 200-day exponential moving average, and we're at the August 1st highs themselves. So a couple points of resistance that therefore make the bullish hints of the power zone action a little bit more cautious. Now, one thing I will say is that the fact that the September 14th range is so well defined and at such key resistance makes it a great area to watch. So now I've drawn in the resistance that is at the September 14th high, about $51. And if we break through that zone with force, then oil could get up to about $54.50 and rally into that level and still be within the bigger picture bear structure. On the flip side, if we break below the September 14th support, and that specific level is at 49.70, then there's a pretty strong chance that we get back not only to the late August lows at $46, but perhaps back down to the June 21st lows in pretty swift style. So another key thing to point out is that in terms of timing for the market, the last major timing point I gave for oil was actually back in the fall, and I projected forward and said specifically that June 16th of this year would be a key turning point for oil prices. Well, considering I made that projection in the fall of 2016, I think I get a little bit of wiggle room, and we did get a low on June 21st. So now where do I see things for timing? Well, based on a couple different measures, it's coming out to October 10th to 11th. So October 10th is not that far off, which is why I wanted to share this video with you now. And October 10th, as you can see here, is just a couple weeks out. And what I expect is that if we're rallying strongly into that timing point, that a short-term top or even a long-term significant top begins to form. But if the market is falling into that timing period, then perhaps it becomes timing for a key low in oil. Now, after that foray into oil, of course, I want to remind those of you who've been with me for a while or those who've kind of seen my work on and off that the E-mini S&P, or the ES is shown here, is my baby. It's the market I analyze and study every day. But obviously, there's been a lot of other markets that I've written about in occasional reports, and there are plenty of markets out there that you probably want to learn about and trade. So I assume that some of those might be FANG stocks. How about wanting to know what market makers are doing? Weekly options, butterflies, and other strategies around options, credit spreads, and maybe even something like Bitcoin. Now, I'm not here to tell you that I'm an expert on all of these, but I am here to tell you that for the first time, a group of traders and experts covering all these markets and styles of trading and more are getting together in person for the first time next week. And this event is something that you can be part of in person as well as online. Now, the actual topics that flesh out from these individual markets and concepts are shown here. All of this is part of this event, and it's called the Super Trader Summit. Now, as you can see by the top line, top trading strategies using RSI power zones. That's actually my new course, and what it specifically details is the lowest risk, highest reward approaches to placing entries, exits, and protective stops on trades triggered by RSI Power Zone action. This is different than my RSI Power Zones workshop, which provides very actionable information, but is more focused on analysis and strategy. And this event launches on September 25th. That's the first day of the summit. So with the summit taking place at 19 East in downtown Chicago, you can attend online or on-site, and you get 2.5 full days of education and trading. That includes all of those topics I laid out for you. Now, some of the highlights of the schedule that starts on September 24th, Sunday, September 24th, and goes through Tuesday, September 26th are as follows. You've got my session coming in as the last event on the second day of speaker lineup. Then for all attendees, whether you attend on-site or online, you get to participate in a live mock trading event that has a cash prize giveaway. You get to be entered into a drawing for a Falcon computer, which comes to a $1,500 value. And then for those folks attending on site, our keynote speaker is Linda Raschke, and she will be offering signed copies of the New Market Wizards. There's also lunch on both days with all of the panel speakers, and I'll introduce you to them in just a moment. And on top of all that, we've got a very special, unique tour of the CBOE where we get to be there for the closing bell as well. Now, before the summit even starts, there's a whole rainbow full of bonuses that you get to partake in. And those can come to you by Friday, September 22nd, the sooner you get signed up. We start with the $97 value items, which include the seasonal swing trader alerts from Trade Thirsty, an entire month full, and my Skinny and the Mini report, which I've been offering as a bonus from August 28th through the end of the conference, which is Tuesday, September 26th. Moving up a level, we've got the $149 value bonuses. We've got an indicator from John Seville. We've got a Nadex spread alert service. Keep going from there. $197 value each for a trend exhaustion video series, 30 days of Rob Hoffman's premium newsletter, and an Ichimoku Cloud on-demand training course. Now we cross the $200 threshold and we get to a pre-market workshop as well as 1 week access to Fausto's Cyber Group trading room. Not done yet, folks. Getting close to $300 now. Serge Berger's trend following course and a chart pattern book for stocks and options, Larry Gaines' Fibonacci trading course, and Hubert Center's Power Play workshop and the indicator. Now at $299, the largest bonus of the set is the credit spread bootcamp from Price Heedley. So if you've ever had any interest in learning about any of these topics or already do trade in these topics and markets, then this bonus package itself is pretty amazing. And I like to think of it this way, that you're this person on the left walking away with literally a pot of gold of bonuses before the summit starts and absolutely free of charge. So if you're interested in participating in the summit, again, you can join online or you can come on site. If you join on site, just mention that, obviously click that button when you sign up and you'll get all the details necessary. But what you get is my top trading strategies using RSI Power Zone's new course, which is a retail value of $297. Additional live courses, moderately conservatively priced, is close to $3,000. The bonuses, which I actually added up, comes to $2,400, and all of this is valued at over $5,700. So it would be pretty great if you got it at half price. It would even be better if you got it at more than 75% off. But actually, the price for this event is $497, and believe it or not, the early bird tickets at $297 are still available. They're going fast because they're based on on-site attendance and spots getting filled, but they are there. So to take advantage of this deal and partake in my next course and learn about all the other markets I mentioned here, go to himareddy.com/summit. There is not an end date for this purchase, but if you want to get the $297 early bird, I suggest moving quickly, as the prices will move up to $497 once a certain number of on-site seats are filled. Now, you might be wondering, why is this happening? Who put this deal together, and why is it so insanely high value for such a low cost? Well, the Trade Thirsty team and traders wanted to do this as the first event of its kind, meeting physically in person in the middle of the country with our attendees to learn and engage in person, because the idea generation that comes from being in person is just something invaluable and that you can't capture in any other environment. Also, there are a lot of trading experts, including me, who've been added to the Trade Thirsty team this year. So if you think about it, this is actually a really great way to learn high potency material from all of us. So I invite you to join me physically in person in Chicago or online if you can. Again, himareddy.com/summit. $297 is the early bird price, and it's still there based on site attendance, but the tickets are going, and that will change once that quota is filled. So I look forward to seeing you there. Keep an eye on that September 14th range on oil, and good luck out there. See you next time.